Update. Mom decided she doesn't want to be a mom anymore and sending me to live with my aunt. Original post. My mom, 32 female, told me that she wishes she never had kids. I am 16 female. She has pretty much decided she cannot stand to be a mom anymore and has asked my aunt to let me attend high school where she lives. My aunt cannot have kids, so she was willing to take me. This means I have to move 200 miles away to a good school, but not the one I grew up with. I am a junior in high school this year, and it will mean I have to do all my work over again, making friends with people, getting to know teachers. Not only that, I have been in drama for the past 2 years, and I was supposed to be a drama director this year. My mom is ruining my life with this. I feel like I will not be able to do all the things I worked for and thus put on my college report. I will be the nobody. Like they will let me be class treasurer if they don't know me. I have a job here with good hours and an understanding boss. I am not sure what to do. I have tried talking to my mom, but my dad divorced her and I have not spoken to or seen him in 9 years. So she says I need to let her live her life. She signed up to go back to school, quit her job, and is on student loans. She sold a car I was supposed to use to get to work and has been giving me boxes. I am supposed to move in a week, right before school starts at my aunt's. I need help. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I think that if your mother is this abhorrent and is completely reneging on her responsibilities, moving in with your aunt is the best thing that could happen to you, even though it will disrupt your life. However, talk to your aunt and make sure that all of this is being done on paper and that your mother forks over her custodial rights over you to your aunt, or at the very least, legal guardianship. Also, make sure that your aunt will be able to cover you under her medical benefits plan. Without legal guardianship, your aunt will be unable to make very basic decisions on your behalf, such as enrolling you in school or approving your medical treatment. And without custody of you, your mom can easily decide, on a whim, that she wants you back and will disrupt your whole life all over again. I'm sorry this is happening, OP, and I wish you the best of luck. I think my aunt has that covered. Her husband is a legal aid, and very okay with me moving in with them. I talked to him about it. He says I am a cool kid. Story time. When I was 14 in 10th grade, my mom remarried. I had been a cheerleader in junior high, 9th grade. I was asked to be an ambassador for our high school, 10th grade, and was in honor society, junior classical league, Latin club, first chair flute, and was voted onto the homecoming court. The week of homecoming, we moved to another state with my stepfather. He was military. I went to 5 different high schools in 3 different states in 4 years. Graduated as a National Merit Scholar with the best GPA at my final school, but wasn't allowed to be valedictorian because I had been there less than 1 year. Yeah, it sucked. When my mother remarried, I had the chance to move to my grandmother's house. I regret not doing that. It would have given me stability for the last 3 years of high school. As it was, I made the best of it. Just do your best in school and stay in touch with your friends on Facebook. Talk to your school counselor. A lot of schools now have concurrent classes with a local college. No tuition while you are still in high school. You can graduate high school with an associate degree at the same time. Good grades are the key. You can do this. That actually makes me feel a little better. I do love my aunt. She is a nice woman, and it seems unfair my mom, who apparently didn't ever want me, great thing to hear, had kids, and she could not. She works with kids, has a lot of spare income, so it could work out for the best. She has told me she would love to take me with her to England over Christmas break, because there is no way in hell I'm going to see my mother in the next 2 years. If she didn't want me, then she doesn't get to have me around when I am an adult. I feel hurt and betrayed. I just don't want to be the girl whose mom rejected her. Now for the update 9 months later, I just wanted to give an update. I forgot I had even posted on here with everything going on. I ended up going to my auntie's. She came and packed up my whole room with me and drove me to her house. It was really hard because my mom was already talking about selling the house and moving to some other city so she could start her life. I still have a lot of pain from what she did, but living with my aunt and uncle has been a great experience. Mr. B, my boss, got me a job at a Subway where my aunt lives. I really like the people I work with. I started dating someone at my new school, and we have been together for 5 months now. Dan 17 male is great, and we are in the same grade. He just turned 17, so we had the whole year together. School is ending in a few weeks, and we have plans to go to the beach with my aunt and uncle for a week. I met some new friends and got involved with volleyball and took part in drama. I'm also the assistant treasurer because I was able to talk to the teacher in charge of the group and said I wanted experience. When she saw my transcripts, she said I could assist the girl who got the position. The girl, Jolene, is actually really cool, and we became pretty good friends. I still keep in touch with my friends from home, but I really feel like I have a great support system now. I haven't told anyone why I moved here just yet, except my boyfriend, because it's too embarrassing and I don't like to talk about it. I was doing really good and had decided I didn't really want to see my mom again, because who abandons their own kid? My mom came up last week, and she has been waiting around to see me. I didn't know why until Saturday, because my aunt finally told me after my mom barged into the house and refused to leave. Auntie asked if I wanted to talk to her, and I told her I would. My mom said she was so sorry for the way she treated me and that she wanted to know if I would move back for my senior year. She said we could pack up anytime I wanted. Then she asked my aunt if she could stay in the guest room. My aunt said the room was mine. My mom said Lucy doesn't mind sharing. My mom tried really hard to get me to chat with her alone, but Auntie stayed with me. It came out that my mom wanted me to come home because her boyfriend left her and she blew through her money. Auntie told Mom she needed to leave, and then told me that my mom had been calling her about the check my birth father sends her. I guess she contacted a lawyer, said I was in her custody, and my mom signed the papers my aunt asked her to. Mom didn't realize it meant the check was coming to Auntie, who said she put most of it into a savings account for me. There were some things she needed money for, and I'm grateful she's paying for me and keeping me. It could have been so much worse. I guess the checks were pretty big. So, I just told my mom not to contact me again. It hurt a lot. The only reason she wanted me around was because of a check. That said, I guess my aunt has my father's number. She said he wants to talk with me when I'm ready, so there's that. I'm not sure what to do now. It just hurts. Your aunt is amazing. If you can, get her make her a nice card for Mother's Day. You're doing good, and good for you for sticking to your guns. Since your aunt seems to have pretty good judgment, you could always ask her for advice on how to handle your father. It would be interesting to hear his side of the story. That being said, it's completely up to you if you want to meet him now, or maybe later when you're older and more on your own. It sounds like you're in a great place with your new school, have a great summer, and a great senior year. Yes, definitely get something for your aunt for Mother's Day. She may not be your mother, but she's acting like a damn better one than your real mom. I'm taking her out to dinner, my treat. I have been saving for a few months now. That's an incredibly sweet and thoughtful thing for you to do. I'd buy her a castle if I could. I actually went through something really similar, only it was my grandmother that took me in instead of my aunt. Speaking from personal experience, I really highly suggest you do not have contact with your mother at any point. She may show up at a family gathering and cry about wanting to talk to you, or show up drunk in your life somewhere down the line. Ignore her like she has plague fleas that can jump miles in one bound. Also, at some point, you may want to talk to someone about what happened and how it makes you feel. I highly suggest a professional. You don't want to become so blocked up with feelings that you can't really hold it in. Good luck. You are already on the way to a better life. I don't want to see my mother ever again. She really hurt me. Next story. Update. Mom thinks our relationship could be better. I'm happy where it's at, but don't know how to tell her. Original post. In an attempt to give some context, I, 28 female, was an oops baby between my parents, who had a turbulent relationship on a good day. They haven't been together for any of my life and do not like each other. Mom, 50s female, was an alcoholic the entirety of my growing up and beyond. Pair this with some narcissistic tendencies, gaslighting, calling me ungrateful for not wanting to get into the car when she was drunk when I was old enough, etc., verbal abuse and some physical abuse. She is not my favorite parent. She missed a lot of school/sport events because she either forgot, was drunk, or some combo of both. Lots of other parents gave me rides home because she'd throw a fit if Dad gave me a ride home because it wasn't his time. She didn't like that I wasn't stereotypically girly and wasn't subtle about it. She married and had my half-brother with a not nice man. He was great with me until he realized I'd never see him as more important than my bio dad. Through college, I tried calling weekly, but despite being a stay-at-home mom, I'm not knocking this. She never had the time to talk or was too tired. So naturally, I stopped calling. She can call when she has time. Skipping over a lot, he and my brother are verbally abusive, really into guns, and according to my mom, also physically abusive. I've seen enough to believe her to an extent, but her history also has a lot of false accusations and making up stuff that I was there for. I was wary enough that I'd lock my bedroom door to sleep when I'd visit for holidays. About a year ago, she finally left him, has her own apartment, and is in the middle of a very rough divorce. She's been sober for a year and change, but I've been through enough that I simply don't trust her to remain that way. I am so happy she left him. I'm sorry she's going through a rough time, but I'm tired of being her crutch. She started calling more, 1 to 2 times a week instead of maybe once a month. One of the times, she brought up that I don't call her anymore, and I said something like, I don't really call anyone, which then came, well, I'm your mother, so you can call me. I've had her on an information diet for years because I don't trust her to respect boundaries. She has made fun of any that I try to set, like, don't call me at 6 a.m. unless it's an emergency. One of the early phone calls included an apology for anything she did that hurt me while she was drinking. No real thought into what she did, just that blanket statement. In her mind, that's absolved her of everything, and we should be a regular Lorelai and Rory, Gilmore Girls. I just got a text that she wants to have a good chat because she really feels our relationship could be better. I get a sense of dread every time she calls. It's usually just bland small talk, but she's been pushing more and more for me to schedule a visit. She's been better than she was while I was growing up, so I feel like I should give her a chance. But I feel like I'm just repeating the same cycle we've been on for my entire adulthood. Trust her to be my mom, works for like 6 months, get blown up at because I don't want to take her recommendation for a trash can, or get a call from a family member about her being on a bender, get hurt, or personal life suffers because it triggers trust issues and anxiety. But she's also in a really low place right now with the divorce and having minimal contact with my brother too. How do I tell her that the fact that we're still talking is about as good as she's going to get? Now for the top advice before reading the update. I'm tired of being her crutch. Stay firm on your boundaries. I have a very similar situation and have been seeing a therapist for years. I told my mom I need her to work on herself before I consider talking to her. I'm tired of doing all of the emotional and adulting work in the relationship, and I need her to make some kind of effort to look at herself in our relationship instead of me managing it. She refuses to see a therapist or counsel of any type, which is fine. It's clear to me my mother is not ready. Ask your mom what she intends to do better for your relationship. I've never been able to put words to my role, and managing nails it. I'll be firm that the onus is on her to make things better, and that she will be doing the bulk of the emotional work. No real thought into what she did, just that blanket statement. In her mind, that's absolved her of everything. I totally connected with a lot of what you wrote too. My mom has been getting away with blanket statements and love bombing the rest of the family when they get mad at her, so she totally gets away with all of her bad behavior. I'm saving this statement in my back pocket the next time someone in my family tries to defend my mom. I'm sorry you have this problem too. The empty apology actually hurt more than not having one because it rubbed in how little she thought about the pain her literal decades of actions have caused. I hope your family can, at a minimum, come to understand why you're upset, even if they choose to continue to go through that cycle with her. You shouldn't have to defend why you're hurting to anyone. I don't mean to put feelings in your mouth. However you want to describe your feelings is 100% your choice. Now for the update. No one asked for this update, but I guess I wanted to give some of you told you so rights. I was able to use bits and pieces from almost every comment, from preparing myself for it, to not go well/needing to hang up on her, to making sure I didn't fall into the trap of explaining or listing out past incidents. I basically said the following. I'm happy for all your accomplishments. Unfortunately, none of that erases 20+ years of lack of support and actions by you that clearly indicated I wasn't a priority. I'm not looking for explanations nor apologies. I've worked hard to make my peace with it, and I've worked hard to get our relationship to a point where I can maintain my mental health and have you in my life. So when you say it could be better, in my mind, it's right where it needs to be. If that's to change at all, I have some boundaries that need to be followed. List of boundaries. Some specific, but two big ones of respect my boundaries and respect when I say no. If you want us to talk more, I'm happy to pick up the phone. You have every right to ask things from me, but you have to respect when the answer isn't what you want to hear. Her first question was if I thought our relationship was better before my stepdad came around. No. Next was asking for examples of when she didn't support me. I told her she'd have to do some reflecting because she was there for the same events I was, and it's not fair to me to ask for that emotional labor. She said she had done lots of reflection and couldn't see it until stepdad came into the picture. She pushed a couple more times for examples. Is it because I missed some events your dad was at? She stopped when I called her out the second time for deflecting responsibility for her actions. I told her multiple times during this portion that she doesn't have to remember or own up to anything, but she does have to live with the consequences. Her last question was, is there any way we could ever push past this all? I told her this is what past this all looks like. She pushed back a little bit, but when it was clear that I wasn't moving an inch, the call ended with, well, thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. None of her questions or responses were any indication she was worried that I was hurt. She was trying to find justifications I might listen to, anything to poke holes. There was part of me that wondered if she always recognized how much neglect there was and just didn't want to face it, but claiming lots of reflection and not having a single incident come to mind that didn't involve blaming someone else answered that question. While she was calm while she tried to respond, her tone was very tense. Worst case here, she continues to try to push boundaries, and I cut off contact, and it's one less stress in life. Best case, she respects them, and it's one less stress in my life. I know this is likely a case of she'll respect them until she doesn't. The important thing for me was that I was upfront with her and set clear boundaries. I've done my due diligence in telling her how our relationship could change. I used change instead of improve very intentionally with my mother. I'm relieved. The ball's in her court, and I have some answers. Thanks again for the advice, sharing of your own experiences and encouragement. It gave me the confidence and a plan for that phone call.